Thanks to the support as a channel member and Chipman. Right, I'm getting greedy now. It's Saturday morning. You got your bonus. Bonus one of potentially two. 4,000 likes on this transfer special rebuild, and you'll see the first couple of games of the new season tomorrow in a second weekend bonus episode. Am I pushing this too far now? I guess we'll find out. And the board are backing me, to be fair, going into this transfer window. They've increased my wage budget up to £10,500 a week. They've actually given me a transfer budget as well. This is all off the back of the money we made on the cup run last year. Obviously, our actual club balance is heading in the right direction. I mean, who'd have thought? Look at this. This is me. I've managed this. I made this happen. Cup runs are incredible. But we have got a little bit of money to spend. Ignore that. I still don't really know why it's happening. All they want me to do is avoid relegation. Obviously, that's not enough for me. As far as I'm concerned, we go up as champions this year. That's what we're looking to achieve this summer. That's the team we're looking to put together. Currently under contract players is these two. And he wouldn't be there. He'd be there. So we've got Strachan, who's under contract. Brooke, who's under contract, and also the youngster Finn Towler is under contract for the next 2 years. So job number one is decide how many of these boys have done enough to earn a new contract. Obviously, quite a few of them have. The loanees will be going back to their parent clubs, but we're obviously going to be looking at the likes of Casagrande, Morton, Whittaker, wherever he is. There's going to be some new contracts handed out. And then we'll work out what we're dealing with, and we will try and improve the team. I think we did improve the team last summer. We came a lot closer to getting through the playoffs this time, and with a little bit of luck with injuries. If we hadn't have had that injury to Casagrande, I think that was the biggest blow, but also having Whittaker out at the same time, who, as you can see, got 34 goals for us, 40 goal contributions in 40 starts from Terrell Whittaker. Missing him at the same time as missing the best goalkeeper in the league. That was quite a challenging combination. So with a little bit of luck, I think we'd have gone up this season. But we need to make sure we've got a good enough squad next year that we're not even relying on luck. We're just going to storm it. And that's the plan. Job one, renew some contracts. I know some of you love a graph. Here's a graph. I'm not completely sure what it shows us, other than actually injuries-wise, we've ended up with way less injuries than we did the year before, but obviously some significant ones. Akwe missed most of the season with a broken leg, and we've already talked about the two other major injuries. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I think that's telling us that was our most injury-ravaged moment, which is also when the season fell apart. So it was less about the quantity of injuries and more about specifically who got injured. There you go. We're going to do a scouting focus for a right back. What contract renewals? We haven't started doing contract renewals yet, and you're not even talking about contract renewals. Picard was not good enough, apparently. That shows how far we've come, because he was one of the first names to get renewed last summer, and now my director of football thinks he's not good enough. This is where the scouting money's going, by the way, and I don't really know why it's happening. I get these through like once a week. Don't know who's arranging them. It's not me. And for those of you keeping track with the wider footballing world, it was Radcliffe who ended up winning the playoffs that we lost yesterday. So even if we'd have made it past Chester, we still would have lost to Radcliffe. Radcliffe deservedly going up as the team that finished in second place. They were... Is there not a way to look at the actual league table? There you go, view stage. Show me the league table. I mean, they did deserve to go up. I just hope the teams coming down are not as good as the two that have gone up. Who's coming down? So coming down, we've got Ebbsfleet, Truro, Braintree, Wealdstone. So, I mean, none of them are very northern, are they? I think there's going to be a shuffle. It might be teams coming in from the National League South that are the danger. Either way, I think we're going to win the league, he says, having not even renewed contracts yet. We have made our first signing of the summer, and also notable as the first signing we've made in this save that came off the back of the email telling us big clubs had set players for release. So Alistair Graham is a goalkeeper, 3 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential. He's 18 years old. He is only 5'10", but he's also only coming in to be the backup goalkeeper. But he was previously at Forest, and we've been able to pick him up on a breakthrough prospect contract on a reasonable salary. What a contrast to last summer. Start as you mean to go on. We have a proper backup goalkeeper who is pretty good. I mean, in terms of current ability, he's not a million miles away from, I mean, certainly I'd back him ahead of Stacey every single time, but considerably better than Chadwick. Not a gazillion miles away from Casagrande with the potential to get better than him. Does need to grow like 6 inches, which is less likely now he's 18, but more of this kind of thing. Good value, high potential, young players. That's what this summer's going to be all about. Cut to me signing a bunch of 50-year-olds. This is going to be a potential problem for this summer. Callum Morton wants £1,100 a week to renew his contract. He's currently on £500 a week. We are not in a position to more than double his salary to just carry on playing in the same league we were in before. So I suspect he's going to be leaving, which is a bit of a downer because I like him, but we can't pay him that. We've got an even bigger problem with Casagrande. I think we're actually going to lose him. That's the most we're allowed to offer him. And he just rejects it. Wellington Olympic want to take him back to New Zealand. I'm rejecting it in the hopes that something happens in the next 3 weeks and we're able to do something magical with him. But I am getting worried. We've got a youngster coming in from Crystal Palace. Marshall Francis is now one of a few players who've signed new contracts. The edge is taken off of all of it by losing Casagrande, though. So we've signed this guy, Alex Kirk. Is a good new defender, 3.5 stars current ability, 4 stars of potential. He's been playing for Sutton United down at this level for a little while. Only 6 foot tall. He's a little guy, but we don't score from set pieces anyway, so who cares? Whittaker has signed a new contract with a pay rise. Robinson was already here. Brooke has signed a new contract. No, Brooke was already here as well. Callum Morton we got for 825 and I'm now wishing we didn't, because I think if we hadn't have done that, we could have done Casagrande on a similar deal. Strachan's already here. We've signed Brandon Fleming. Again, yes, he's a huge improvement. He's got Football League experience, quite a lot of Football League experience. He's still only 27. But at the expense of Casagrande, no thank you. I need the guys whose contracts are expiring to leave. I mean, I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Right, let's hit continue. Let's try Casagrande again. Made an offer for Willie up there. Don't even know who that is. That's someone my director of football was sorting. I mean, you know what? 6'2", big Willie at the back. Yeah, all right. Okay. You know what appeals to my sensibilities, Joe. But in the meantime, let's stop thinking about Big Willie and see if this... We need to continue a few more times to try and get Casagrande. It's very upsetting to me. Right, we're going to take a little bit of a risk here. Season expectations, they're currently avoid relegation. But the higher up we move in the table, the more they give us. So I'm thinking we just promise a top half finish. We've finished in the playoffs 2 years in a row. If we don't get a top half finish, we need to move on anyway. So I think we gamble there to try and get us some more pennies. Does this get us more pennies as well? Let's say we've got to the first round of the FA Cup 2 years running. Yeah, let's just put everything to the max. I don't think they'll fire me if we mess up in the cups. But goodness me, do we need that extra money? Because we've given Casagrande a new contract on £1,000 a week. Which might be silly, but I think we needed to keep him around. That's not the only deal we've done. There is other business that has gone on as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get Big Willie. He's gone to Scotland. But we did get, I think we got as far as Kirk before. Sebastian Williams is the chap coming in who's come in now from Crystal Palace and is potentially going to be part of the reason we changed the way we play, because we've brought him in. But we've also brought this guy in, and these are natural central midfielders. And we don't use central midfielders at the moment. We've just signed 2. This chap is off of Ross County. So I'm thinking we're going full non-league. We're going to do a 4-3-3 route 1. And I guess play off of Morton with Whittaker and Francis either side of him is the initial plan. It's an option. I think we need to switch to something that involves central midfielders. We've just signed 2. Well, we have made it through to the 1st of July and we've just released a lot of players. If we have a look at our transfer history, released players, there's some very familiar names that we've just binned off in the interests of improving this team. Gamble, Green, Pakawa, Akwe, third choice keeper Luke Chadwick, Jack Griffiths, Leon Elliott. Gyamfi, of course, completed his transfer to Germany, which means our first team squad as of the 1st of July is this. And we've just agreed to release Tyrone Marsh as well. So he's also going to be gone. So it's a first team squad of 13 players because Marsh won't be here. But we do have 2 goalkeepers and almost a team. So if we try and put this into a team so we can see what we're working with, if we're starting from a 4-3-3, we would have Casagrande in goal. And then at the moment, Strachan's going to have to play centre-back because we don't have any more centre-backs. So this is not ideal, but we have got Fleming for left-back. And then at right back, it's Robinson. Base of the midfield, Taylor's just retired, by the way. So base of the midfield would be Brook. And then ahead of him, you would have McLeod and Williams. And then up front, it would be Morton with Whittaker on the right and Francis on the left, cutting in. And then the backup keeper would be whoever the backup keeper is. I don't know why it's not just showing me him. Can't remember his name. You know who he was. We signed him earlier in this video. And then, of course, the youngster Finn Towler. So we do have an 11. Not only do we have an 11, we have £5,000 a week of wage budget to play with now. Now we've bumped up the budgets and released a load of players. We obviously have huge squad depth problems. We need at least 2 centre-backs. We need another right back. We need, if we're playing 3 centre mids, we need at least 1 more, if not 2 more centre mids. We need another big, strong target man if we're playing route 1. And we need a couple of wingers, 1 for each side. These 2 can play as inside forwards, but we need some out and out winger options as well, so we can do different things. And I realise Whittaker got 40 goal contributions playing as a striker last year, and we're talking about playing him out wide. So we might abandon this plan anyway. And with the midfielders we've signed, the only thing we could then go to is a 4-4-2. So we need a couple of natural wide midfielders who can play further forward. So there's quite a lot of business we need to do. Obviously, it's 1st of July, so we can do some free transfers, we can do some trials, and then we can start looking at loans. I think we'll fill out a squad. Is it as good as last season's? I mean, at the moment, it's not nearly as good as last season's team. What do the media think of us? You know what? Surprised Casagrande's not the best goalkeeper in the division. We don't have anybody in the Dream 11. Let's work on fixing that problem. Well, first batch of trialists, and we've potentially found a future hero. Bruno Sinner. I think that's how we're saying his name. He's a 6'4" striker with 5 stars of potential. He's not quite good enough to start yet, potentially. I mean, I guess I'll be the judge of that. To be fair, according to this, he's already better than Morton. Only Francis is a better striker than him at the club. Loads of potential. Obviously, he's a big, strong boy. He's come in for so little money on a 2-year contract. This is a boy we can build the team around. And then we've also signed a winger, Daniel Chesters. He's a right winger, can also play over on the left. Exactly what we talked about before. A winger who can play on the right-hand side of a 4-4-2 if needs be. He's been at Salford previously, came up through the West Ham youth system, played league football for both Colchester and Salford, but hasn't really played in the last few years, but should be an adequate addition to the squad. We've still got plenty of spare money. It's now just a case of trying to convince players to sign for us, which is proving easier said than done. We're trying to bring Rio Canaville in, who was with us on loan last season. But as you can see, so is everybody else. So we're getting a lot of that. As the summer goes on, fingers crossed, we'll start pulling off a few more of our targets. I'm not panicking yet. It's only the 9th of July. Well, we did actually end up managing to sign Rio Canaville. So he comes in permanently. Only £360 a week on a 2-year deal. There's positive signs happening here at Bedford. And we've also brought in a couple more players. Charlie Compton is a 19-year-old central midfielder, defensive midfielder, 3.5 stars of current ability, 5 stars of potential. He's previously of Ipswich. We've also brought in Jaden Davidson, who's a 20-year-old winger, natural on either side, 3.5 stars current ability, 5 stars potential. He came in via Derby, also played at Dagenham and Redbridge last season. That's a lot of teams to play for. And Alfie Taylor is 6'4", and you can't teach that. He can play anywhere across the back four. We've signed him because he's tall and cheap. He's on a non-contract. He's probably not very good, but I am a little bit worried that we are a little bit light. It's Grimsby Borough, by the way, not proper Grimsby. I'm a little bit worried we're not going to have enough starting defenders for the start of the season. Because if we look at this, we are light. We're very light at centre-back. And when you consider one of the tactics we're training is this bad boy. If you can't beat him, join him. It got South Shields promoted. We're going to need at least a couple more centre-backs to make that a realistic thing. But I think this is what we're actually aiming to do. We've still got money left. There's still nearly £2,000 a week of money available. We are just struggling to bring players in. They're all going elsewhere. The season starts in just over a week. We might not have even finished spending our wage budget, never mind started looking at loans properly. I think business is going to be continuing well into this upcoming season. But all that being said, if we have a look at the media prediction, the media think we're quite good. Second favourites for promotion behind Kidderminster, who we were better than last year. We might be looking good for a title, which would be jolly nice. Oh, my director of football's made an offer for somebody else again, I think. I don't recall that name. Remy Rees-Dottin, another winger, Southampton under-21s. I mean, you're going to need scouting, young man. Scouting in progress. They are on it. What a recruitment team we've got. And as always seems to be the way, we have run out of time on our transfer window for the first time ever with money still on the table. There's still business to be done. We haven't brought in anybody else since the last update, and it is the first day of the new season. So as it stands right now, this is the team that's going to be starting the season. Casagrande in goal. I think this team is an upgrade. Casagrande in goal, a back four of Strachan, Taylor, Kirk and Robinson. Compton, new boy Compton at the base of the midfield as a playmaker. McLeod and Williams as an actual central midfield to control the game ahead of him. I mean, I say control the game, watch the ball go over them, because we're going to be aiming over the top of them to 6'4" Bruno Sena, who we are looking for goals from. Davidson on the right, Francis on the left for now. And the bench is a little bit hit and miss and full of youngsters. So there's definitely more work than needs to be done. Why is Canaville not involved? I feel like that's an oversight. Canaville will probably be involved. In fact, there's a few boys there who should be on the bench that aren't. I think it's because they've played for the under-21s recently. We'll fix the bench before, hopefully, tomorrow's episode. Because remember, if you want to see this new look team and new look tactic in action this weekend, we need likes on the video. 4,000 likes, you get your second bonus of the weekend. And we basically fall into a 7 days a week habit for a little while, I guess. Probably not beyond Christmas, but maybe until then, if support for the series continues as awesome as it has been so far. So glad you're enjoying it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, folks. Toodle pip.